Stardew Valley, so peaceful, cozy, relaxing. Oh, come here, you little. Oh, no, please no, leave me alone. Stardew Valley is one of the most successful indie games ever, single-handedly developed by my icon Eric Barone. Primarily inspired by a Harvest Moon, Stardew Valley is an open-ended country life RPG available on PC, PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch. In this video, I will be talking about Stardew Valley's gameplay, story, value for money, and my main issues with it, so you can decide if it's worth getting into. So let's get right to it. Stardew Valley's core gameplay consists of farming, mining, and fishing. The farming aspect is pretty straightforward. You buy seeds from one of the local stores, plant them on your farm, and water them every day until they are ready for harvesting. There is a big variety of seeds available that grow at different times of the in-game year and at different speeds. You can also raise animals and pet them and feed them every day in return for their precious produce. Later in the game, you can turn your crops and animal products into more profitable goods like jam and milk. If you're feeling a little adventurous, you can go mining instead. All you need is a pickaxe and swords and hammers and explosives, loads of explosives. Monsters like slimes, bats, and ghosts will attack you in the mines and you'll have to fight back. You can only do two moves, attack and defend, or do a special attack depending on your weapon. It may sound simple, but it's not as easy as it sounds. You have to time your actions correctly, and when multiple fast, strong creatures come at you at once when you're minding your own business, it can go downhill pretty fast. The good news is that you can't actually die in this game. You will just pass out and wake up at the hospital shortly after. The bad news is that if you pass out, you will lose gold and precious items from your inventory. So watch out, folks. Last but not least, we have fishing. Honestly, I am heavily biased against fishing because, well, I just don't really enjoy it. I asked my friends to get a second opinion on this, and none of them said they particularly enjoy fishing either, so I'm not alone in the fishing haters community. To fish, all you have to do is go next to any body of water, use your fishing rod and wait till the right moment to click and catch the fish. But it doesn't end there. The fishing minigame then starts and you have to keep your fishing bar under the moving fish for a certain amount of time in order to catch it for real. Some fish are slow and therefore easy to catch, but if you're trying to catch, let's say, a legendary fish, you can be fishing for an entire in-game day just to encounter a single one of them and then fail to catch it anyway because it moves faster than the fly that lives around free in your house. In my experience, fishing is boring and oftentimes frustrating, but if you love fishing in Stardew Valley, I would love to hear your point of view in the comments. Of course, there are more things you can do in Stardew Valley, like foraging, cutting wood, cooking, crafting, decorating, and interacting with the townsfolk. More on that in the story section. One of my favorite things about Stardew is that you can choose what activities you want to do and not do with little to no obligations, especially if you're done with a community center. You don't like animals? First of all, shame on you, but you are free to not have a single animal on your farm. Do you like finding monsters in the mines? You can do that all day long and forget about everything else. There are many types of players in Stardew and everyone has fun in their own way. The game also features a local and online multiplayer mode that allows you to share a farm with up to 3 other people. This mode is available on all devices except for mobile and PS Vita. Co-op is mostly identical to single player, with a few features specific to multiplayer for a better experience. For example, you can choose whether your farm's profits are going to be shared or equally split among the players, and you can marry and have children not only with the NPCs, but also with other players. I think the gameplay in Stardew Valley is overall pretty well designed. It can get a little intense at times, but at the end of the day, it's a relaxing, chill game that you can play at your own pace. And quite frankly, it's hard not to find something you enjoy doing in this game. The story of Stardew Valley starts off when you decide to quit your depressing office job and move to a small place in the countryside called Pelican Town to live on the farm you inherited from your grandpa. You have to choose whether you want to put in the hard work to restore the town's abandoned community center or go the easy route and buy a Joja Mart membership, which results in the community center turning into a warehouse for Joja Corporation, aka your previous employer. This may seem like an important choice, but in reality it has little to no consequences to the way the game progresses. Whichever you pick, your goal is to unlock a series of upgrades that advance the game, whether it is by completing bundles in the community center or simply buying them through Joja. Many people believe the Joja route to be the evil one, but on second thought, it really just grants the player even more freedom to do whatever they want on their farm. Plus, it causes Pierre to lose his job, so that's a win-win in my book. That is pretty much it as far as the main plotline goes. The developer of the game initially planned to include a villain associated with Joja who tries to make your life difficult, but he decided to scrap that character because they messed with the relaxing, comforting feeling he was going for. I would have loved to see a more concrete storyline in Stardew Valley with more severe consequences for your actions, but I'd say that the character arcs of the Pelican Town residents make up for it. There are 34 characters in total that you can meet and become friends with, 12 of whom are single and ready to mingle. You can gain friendship points with them by various means like talking to them, giving them gifts, and completing item delivery commissions. The closer friends you become with them, the more open they are with you and the more cutscenes you will unlock that reveal more about their lives and personalities. You can even marry one of them and let them live on your farm and have a family with you. The NPCs in Stardew Valley are very diverse and have profound personalities. You can even befriend a dwarf or become roommates with a shadow monster. There are many cliches like the pretty blonde mean girl and the loner who hates everyone, but if you give them a chance to get to know them, you will soon realize that they are more than what meets the eye. Through the characters' backstories and growth, the game tackles issues like depression, alcoholism, discrimination, war PTSD, following your dreams, and being true to oneself. A nice little detail that I love about the dating aspect of the game that is not seen in many other similar franchises is that the NPCs will acknowledge the fact that they are dating a person of the same gender and say, for example, that this is the first time they felt like this about another girl or boy. So if you want to feel the thrill of a purple-haired goth girl acknowledging your queer existence, you're at the right place. The only thing I'm a little disappointed about regarding the NPCs is the lack of new dialogue after you reach max friendship with them. Interacting with the townsfolk used to be one of my favorite things to do in the game, but their lines are so repetitive that I have stopped talking to them altogether. The same goes for the character you are married to, who basically becomes a lifeless housewife or husband and stares at your furniture all day. I do still talk to my Stardew husband though, just because I would feel bad if I didn't. Like, look at his precious little goth face. Stardew Valley roughly costs $15 on PC and console and $5 on mobile. In my opinion, that is a very fair price for such a big and well-made game. Do however keep in mind that the mobile experience is not as good because certain tasks like fishing and fighting monsters become harder and more frustrating with the mobile controls. Not to mention that the game updates arrive more slowly on mobile, so I wouldn't recommend the game as much to someone who can only play it on a mobile device. For a game that teaches the importance of taking it easy and enjoying the simple things in life, the in-game days are quite short. Your character can be awake from 6 in the morning till 2 at night, but that is only about 14 minutes in real time. Sometimes I would do the exact same things many days in a row because by the time I was done with my farm chores, the day was already over. So if you're prone to falling into routines like me, Stardew Valley can become rather repetitive or even stressful. But I guess that's more of a me problem because, like I said earlier, the game grants you a lot of freedom. And what am I even doing these chores for anymore? Another thing that may put players off is that Stardew Valley is open-ended, meaning it doesn't really have an ending or resolution and you can keep playing and growing your farm for as long as you like, which at some point inevitably becomes pointless. Personally, I don't like having multiple game files because I don't enjoy starting all over again after grinding a game for hundreds of hours. But I know that many people like having a fresh start and experimenting with everything the game has to offer. For instance, you may want different farms for each bachelor and bachelorette you want to marry because you're a softie like me and refuse to file for a divorce. But that is pretty much it. I don't have any real issues with Stardew other than that, and that says a lot for someone like me. Stardew Valley isn't flawless, but in my opinion it is a masterpiece of a game. The pixel art is beyond beautiful, the soundtrack is phenomenal, and the writing is great, and it was all done by a single guy. If you're looking for a chill comfort game that immerses you in an idyllic little town in the countryside that makes you forget about reality, then this is the game for you. But even if you're used to more intense competitive games, I highly recommend that you give this one a try. You never know, you might be pleasantly surprised. And that is pretty much all I had to say about Stardew Valley. Let me know about your experience with the game in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, it would mean a lot to me. See you next time!